Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of WWE Report. Joined with my guest, Bill Mack. So, from his perspective, he would say, "Welcome to Pro Wrestling Unleashed. My guest is Brandon." You know. Check this out. There's a huge rumor out there that Hulk Hogan is returning to WWE and possibly be a surprise at WrestleMania 33. Before I give my thoughts about that, Bill, what you think about that? Okay? Let me ask you this way: first off, do you believe that rumor? And if so, how you think the crowd reaction would be?
I think that, well, for the first thing is I think WWE is going to try to do some sort of surprise. Seeing Hogan at WrestleMania's return would make a big deal for them. I think, they may, you hear these little bits of tidbits of things coming out here, getting close. Vince is going to pull all the stops. Hogan missed last year. He felt Hogan's been punished enough. Now he's, trying to get back into good graces because they're still selling Hulk Hogan merchandise now. I think, he's kind of, it's kind of being old. Wrestling fans are always the easiest friends to forgive, of wrestlers, of other things. And, I see this as being no different, considering it being Hulk Hogan, one of the biggest icons in professional wrestling, of all time. I would think it'd be great to see Hogan. He's been kind of out of the limelight since all these allegations and things happened, since his Gawker court case was resolved, and I just feel like it'll be a great addition to see him there. And I think Vince is trying to work behind the scenes. I did see some tidbits myself where he may be potentially coming back, and if you're going to make a return, why not return at the biggest stage in WWE? And they remember last year after WrestleMania 32, they mentioned that maybe Hogan might be back by 33. So who's to say not put it past Vince anything to have Hulk Hogan come back? Like I said, he's asked for forgiveness, and I'm pretty sure he's learned from his mistakes that he's made. And like I said, the WWE fans and wrestling fans are basically forgiving people. So I imagine they would love to see Hulk Hogan making an appearance, if nothing but from nostalgia from that standpoint. So yeah, dude, I totally agree 100% that it would be good to see Hogan make an appearance back at WrestleMania.
Was to reach some sort of settlement for Hogan to get the guaranteed money.
Let's see what Jason thinks right quick.
I would think it won't be long before we see Hogan back on WWE television. They've already incorporated his voice back into some of those network commercials. I'd pose this question to anyone listening who was offended by the comments that he made on that tape. And really everybody it should offend everybody when you hear stuff like that. But anybody who heard that and was really personally hurt and offended by it, it's been 16 months since that tape leaked, since WWE fired Hulk Hogan. He's still off the Hall of Fame page. I mean, you could say he's out of the Hall of Fame. What does that even mean? There is no physical Hall of Fame. But he's not anywhere on the website still. They haven't added him back yet. I suspect they will, but they haven't. Are you okay? Are you cool with WWE bringing Hogan back in some sort of role or reestablishing a relationship, maybe just for the sake of the network, with Hulk Hogan? That would be I'm curious. Maybe he's been forgiven by a large portion of you. Maybe a lot of you still say F him and never want to see him again. I really don't know where people stand, and I'm kind of curious. Do you think they need to keep their distance maybe just a little bit longer? Keep him out of the picture for another, year, 2 years? I mean, I don't know. Is there a magic number? Or do you think they should just never do business with him again?
I think they should do business with him again because people change. People make mistakes. And I'm pretty sure that Hogan's learned his lesson about that because, it's pretty much ruined his career, at least for a little while. Sure, people make mistakes. He should have never said that. But to hate the man forever and never forgive him, no, I disagree with that because, like I said, people make mistakes and everybody makes mistakes. And that's how we learn and evolve and become better people. if WWE wasn't so desperate for star power, do I think they would ever bring him back? Probably not, because they don't need him. But the way the ratings are and star power, it's been long enough to where they can bring Hogan back to TV. It's been a couple of years now. Just imagine if Hogan made these comments in the year 2016. What if he made them comments last year when you had Trump versus Hillary? Oh man, that would have been the worst. Well, no, he might have got away with it. It's amazing how much can change in 2 years. But sure, I think WWE's gonna give him another chance. But the last time Hogan was in WWE, the crowd didn't pop as much. I mean, they respect him, of course, but people just grow tired of them. And if you talk to African Americans, most of them that I've talked to will say, yeah, give Hogan another chance. It's not, people make mistakes. But what can he bring to WWE? I mean, just nostalgic pop, I kind of wish he would go away, but on good terms. Kind of like Shawn Michaels. I'm so tired of seeing Shawn Michaels, except for when he was in there with Enzio, because I was like, okay, it's been so long since I've seen HBK. I was like, okay, cool. Sure. But I just remember Hogan being the host of WrestleMania 30, and that was 3 years ago. And I'm like, what else can you do with a guy? And but yeah, I think he will come back. I'm not mad at him. I understand. I kind of understand. I mean, sure, you have to walk a mile in a man's shoes, but to understand what they've been through. But I understand Hogan, broadly speaking, just from reading his book and the shit he's went through. The man's got some issues, and he's a good liar. Well, I know he's a bad liar. He was a good liar in the 80s and 90s, but them little lies he does now doesn't. People are too smart for his bullshit now, and that's why you hear videos where you say, well, you can tell Hogan's lying here. You can tell he's doing this. You can tell he's trying to sell you something. And I love when Hogan came out with that video right after Macho Man Savage passed away. Hogan made a video the very next day on his cell phone talking about, man, me and Randy reconciled. We were talking about hanging out again and cooking. We were just talking about it last week. I said, Hogan, you're so full of shit, man. Why don't you just, because I think some people, they lie so much that they don't know how to socialize or tell you or give you a reason without lying. All he had to say was, Randy passed, brother, and I feel so bad that we didn't get to patch things up, and we were mad at each other, and I feel bad about it, and I wish we could have patched things up. But he was just too mad at me, brother. I mean, that would have been more of an honest answer. And him going on TV saying, well, brother, when I grew up, everybody said the N word, brother. Everybody said it. That was a bunch of bullshit, and everybody knows it. Because for one thing, he didn't say it in a brother way. He said it in a racist way. That goddamn N word. I don't want to see my daughter with an N. That effing N. That is racism. If he says, well, sure, you can date an N, that's my brother too. It's all about he should apologize for the context, not just using the word in general. But to sum it up, yeah, Hogan's coming back to WWE. It's been a couple of years, but people don't forget. Because just like with politicians, they say what they want to say, but now they see that people can fucking fact check them on YouTube. So it's kind of cool how YouTube has exposed the political business, because you can't say that because people will go back and play something you said before. Trump, for example, in his Twitter account, Trump will say one thing on Twitter when he was campaigning, because there is campaign rhetoric versus what you actually going to do. And now people will say, well, hey, Trump, you didn't say that on Twitter a year and a half ago. And they're using social media against them for better or for worse. So my point is, people are not going to forget what Hogan said. Will they forgive him? Sure. And as people make mistakes, just be honest about it. and we'll be right back. But yeah, I'll compare it to Trump very quickly. Not to be political because I don't discuss politics on my wrestling show, but the way people voted, the bigotry, a man that won the presidency based on bigotry. Because yes, I hear conservatives say, "Well, Trump, we didn't vote for him for his personality, but voted for him because of change," and I get that. So you can look at Hogan the same way. Well, we're glad Hogan's back. I don't like his personality. I just like his character, say. And another thing is, since Trump won the White House and you got Linda McMahon in Trump's cabinet, they could be like, hey, it's okay to say that because firing Hogan over saying a racist comment is just a libtard move. So absolutely Hogan can come back. Since the Republicans are in control now, and maybe they'll bring Hogan. They're more prone to bring Hogan back. I don't know. But anyway, so that's what I think about it. And let's see. Let's finish. See if Jason has anything interesting to say about it, and we'll reiterate.
Myself, to me, the embarrassment of what he said on that tape.
So that was perfect, Bill. You gave your thoughts. I gave my thoughts. And now Jason's saying, myself? Well, good timing.
And the fact that he said it in reference to his own daughter. I mean, to me, I don't know. That's just so gross. To say that, about your own daughter, like I hope she marries whatever it was. I forgot the exact words he used, but it's just gross. No WWE comeback, even if they do bring him back, can ever erase that. That will always be there. That will be with him until the day he dies. But I go back to what I said when I first talked about this whole thing last year, and you can find the video online. Even on our own YouTube channel, I took the whole segment, 30 some odd minutes. I talked about this. So long as WWE insists on, canonizing the Ultimate Warrior and making him out to be like he's some sort of saint, given all the hateful things that he said about people, to put him in their Hall of Fame and to name an award after him and to build a statue for him, while at the same time acting like Hogan never even existed, is just the height of hypocrisy. There's just no way around it. And I just continue to shake my head at that. That some rules apply for some and not for others. And Hogan and Warrior, they're on the same platform. It's not like, well, Hogan was never a big star. Hogan's probably the biggest star of all time. Hogan was no schlub. So to treat him one way and Warrior another way, just because he died. But let's be honest, even before the Warrior died, they decided to bring him back. They were going to build a statue and do.
Yeah, Jason, I agree with you, but I think using the N word is stronger language. Right now, at least, because somebody will say, calling somebody a queer and a faggot is just as bad as calling somebody the N word. Maybe so. I don't know. I tend to think they're more equal, but dude, the N word has a long history of racism and abuse, and it can be very sensitive. But so is the gay word, because all a Warrior said was, queering doesn't make the world go around. And that was more of a political standpoint. I don't agree with that rhetoric, but I agree with somebody saying, hey, I don't believe in, gay people or gay rights. Sure. I disagree with him, but I agree that he can say that. That's free speech. But it was the way he said it. The way Hogan said it, if you had to measure him, I would say Hogan was worse, because he's pretty much saying that F and N, don't date it. His wasn't political. You could argue. Okay, the terminology is terrible on both sides, but Warrior was mad and saying it more in a passionate / political way. Hogan was saying it because he's just a piece of shit. So I'll leave that up for the people to decide. Leave me a comment. I love hearing from you guys. Is calling somebody a queer and a gay bastard just as bad as calling a black person the N word, or are they pretty much equal insults? You know, or just, I agree it's bad language before everybody bashes me. Of course, it's just as important. But I'm just okay. Here's a better example. What's worse, calling a black person the N word in the most cynical, hateful way, or calling somebody fat? Sure, it hurts their feelings. It's insultful. It's wrong. But don't you think the N word is just a little bit more worse than that language wise? I don't know.
Do all this stuff. So it's not like just because he died, they decided to honor him. They said, look, time heals all wounds. This guy's got some drawing power. We want to put him in the Hall of Fame. We can make merchandise.
By the way, I'm not racist, ladies and gentlemen, because look at my desktop. Look at that sweet, some sweet black woman right there. Oh, my goodness. That is a fine, fine lady. Oh, baby. Oh, make you want to slap your mama. She looks so good.
And make little toys and action figures.
I know all white people say that. Hey, I'm not racist. I got black friends. But hey, I'm not racist. I got an African American female as my desktop from the Maxim magazine.
They think dollars.
She's African. I don't even know. I know she's got something in her, but it's something good though.
Sense, and so they brought him back. And I think if you're asking me, is there value in bringing Hulk Hogan back? Absolutely. Dollars and cents.
Yeah.
Of course, he's the biggest star of all time. Are you kidding me? Now, I'm not sitting here saying that I need to see him back on television every single week, but you always knew it was inevitable they were going to bring this guy back. But, at the same time, I can understand people just not wanting them to have anything to do with the guy. So I'm just curious wherever.
Oh, shit. It went off. I was in the Bill. Bill. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I lost Bill, and AT&T man is here. We're gonna work on my internet, finally get the shit fixed correctly. But anyway, I talked to Bill later on, and this part right here is recorded later, and he pretty much was in agreement with me on that. WWE bring Hogan back for money, star power, drawing power, and all that stuff, and people will eventually forget about it. Oh, and I said, the perfect way to bring Hogan back and make money is to put him in the Hall of Fame with the NWO. Remember that rumor a couple years back they were going to induct the NWO and Hogan would get 2 rings, just like Ric Flair had 2 rings for the Horsemen and for himself. So, I see WWE bringing back Hollywood Hogan and the NWO for a Hall of Fame class. That's what they're probably going to do. And Bill pretty much had the same idea and agrees with me. But thanks for Bill for being on my show. Take care, guys.
Yeah.